Shout out to Hispanics causing panics.
Shout out to Hispanics causing panics.
Hispanics causing panic. I'm glad to be here.
Hispanics are causing panic, baby. Let's do it.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Wherever you're at in the U.S., it should still be the AM. And if you're catching this anywhere else in the world, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. I want to get this off, man, before tonight. You guys know every Monday night, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, HCP is War, uncensored right here on my channel. And but I wanted to get this off before I go live tonight with my partner in crime, D-Style Boxing. And we'll do this, man. Like I said, I'm gonna get this off myself because this is my channel. I started my channel 10 years ago. Before I started doing shows with D-Style, I had already done plenty of videos about Canelo at the time. So this is just my opinion, and I want to get this off because we're gonna talk about a lot of other stuff with the fight tonight. So that's why I'm doing this one. This is gonna be a real quick one as well. I don't have a whole lot of time right now. I have a little bit of time right now, so I figured I would get it in right now because I probably won't have an opportunity to do it before the show. Josh Lopez and Fotex, hey, thanks you guys for being here. Appreciate it. But I'm going to say this, man. 10 years now, like I said, I started my channel in 2011. It's 2021 now. And I'll say this. People's opinions change on fighters, and I treat Canelo the exact same way I treat everybody else. Now, I've been called a hater for many, many years here on YouTube from a lot of faceless accounts from back 10 years ago. Those channels aren't even around anymore. Like if you go to all my old videos I've done on Canelo, like you'll just see my comments there because a lot of the guys that were talking a lot of shit to me, those channels aren't around anymore. And I don't even think that they were content creators. They were just, Canelo fanboys, extreme fanboys at the time. But I'll say this. I'm going to start 10 years ago. At the time when I came on here, it was just a little bit after Canelo was starting to become a star here in the United States. And again, I'm not going to acknowledge that many comments today because I don't have a whole lot of time. I just want to get this off. But I see everybody here. I appreciate you being here. But I want to say this. Back then, the way his fans were talking about him, they're talking about him like he was already doing things like he's doing right now. And my thing was this, hey, look, let's pump the brakes and let's just see it happen first. That was my stance at the time. And because I said something like that, I got labeled a hater. I got labeled a sellout, all kind of shit, all kinds of shit. And I just said, look, I want to see him do it in the ring. I was calling for him to fight guys like Trout, Lara, Martirosyan at the time when he was at 154 pounds. He gave me 2 of those fights. Gets full credit for him now. I don't think he beat Lara. I don't know why that's such a bad thing to say, why anybody would get upset. But it is what it is. Again, when you're a fanboy, you can't accept that. But I think most honest fans can say that they think the fight was close. A lot of people feel it could have went either way. And I feel like it was a clear win, but it is what it is. But those are the things that I got called a hater for. Same thing with the Triple G fights. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can think a guy lost a fight without being labeled a hater. You know what I'm saying? And it just is what it is, man. It is what it is. Now, look, over the years, over this 10 years, he's done what I've wanted him to do. And that's fight the best. And now he's undisputed. Regardless of what you guys think, he did it. You know what I'm saying? And he gets full credit from me. He gets full credit. Just like I gave Josh Taylor his full credit for beating who was my only favorite fighter in the game right now, which is Jose Ramirez. I picked that fight off of emotions. I wanted Taylor to win. I wanted Ramirez to win, and Taylor beat him fair and square. You don't see me doing hit jobs on Taylor just because he beat my favorite fighter. No, I gave him full credit. And he still gets it because he is the undisputed champ at 140 pounds. Just like I gave Terrence Crawford his full credit for 140 pounds when he was undisputed there. And I got a lot of pushback, and mainly from the Canelo fans about, well, that division was weak. He did it in a weak division. So he beat all the champions there. He gets full credit for it. Now, on the other hand, when Canelo does it at 168, we get the same pushback from a lot of people. Like, they don't want to give him his full credit for the win, for becoming undisputed. No, he gets full credit. And that's what I'm doing here. This is not G Funky becoming a fan of Canelo. Like I said, the only fighter I'm a fan of is Ramirez, and that's Jose Ramirez at 140. Because I do think he's a really good fighter, and because of what he does for his people here in California. That's why I'm a fan of his. And he's the only guy that I will officially say that I'm a fan of. But just because I give credit doesn't mean that I'm a fanboy, or just because I give criticism doesn't mean I'm a hater. He's accomplished great things in these past 10 years. And here's the thing. I'm not trying to hide anything. I'm not trying to do any of this weird stuff that some people have been accusing me of doing the past couple of days. My videos are still up. All of my videos about Canelo from 10 years ago, when I was labeled a hater, they're still up. I leave them up for a reason, because things change. Things change. And I'm giving the man his full credit for becoming an undisputed champion, the first undisputed champion at 168, and the first Mexican to do it in the four-belt era. That's important to say, because I hear some people saying he's the first Mexican undisputed champion, when that's not true, because we've had other undisputed champions before there was the four-belt era. Just saying. Anyway, yeah, that's all it is, man. And again, those videos are up for a reason. I know I got a lot of new subscribers, and they'll probably run across those videos, and they're going to think, oh, man, this guy's a hater, you know? And look, again, opinions change, man. When fighters do good things in the ring, I give them credit for it. That's something that's missing today in the YouTube boxing community. I'm just one of those guys that I want to see it done in the ring before I give credit. You know? People ask me why I'm so harsh on a lot of these young kids. Well, the problem is people, they like to project, the future. This guy looks great. He looks unstoppable. I mean, yeah, against the competition that he's in there against. Let's see him do it against guys that are on his level or better. Let's see how he does then. And if he passed the test then, guess what? I give him credit. And this is exactly what I was saying about Canelo when I first came here 10 years ago. He was fighting guys like Centron and Josecito Lopez, Shane Mosley. Those are guys he was supposed to beat. And his fans were talking about him like they talk about him today. Like he had accomplished great things. And I'm like, look, can we just pump the brakes? Like, can we see him against guys his age, guys his size, guys that are just as good as him? And I got labeled a hater for that. I got labeled a hater for that. But look, now that he's done it, he's getting full credit for me. Because he did it. He accomplished it in the ring. No, if some of you guys want to call that a flip flopper, that's fine. You can have your opinion on me, but that's the way that I do it, and that's the way I've always done it, man. I need to see it done in the ring, and once it's done in the ring, they get credit from me. That applies to guys like Virgil Ortiz, Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, Boots Ennis, all these young guys who are right on the cusp of becoming contenders and challengers for championships now. They still have to prove it in the ring before I could say anything like I'm hearing people say Boots is unstoppable and everybody's ducking him. Come on. Is he talented? Yes, but I need to see it. I need to see it against the same level. I need to see it against the same level. And that's exactly what I've been saying about the guy. That's exactly what I said about Canelo. And nobody gave me any pushback for that. So I mean, that's what I'm all about, man. Fighters proving it. And once it happens in the ring, 100% credit for me. And I don't make excuses. I'm not going to say Canelo only went undisputed because he was in a weak division. He beat all the champions there. Who, by the way, none of them lost. And I'm not taking questions, guys. This is going to be a quick one. Maybe like another 10 minutes or so. I'll be live tonight if you want to ask questions then. But yeah, he gets full credit. And just like Josh Taylor gets full credit, Terrence Crawford, Usyk, they all get credit for being undisputed. I don't care how bad you think the division was or how great you think the division was. They did it. And if those divisions were so bad, like, how come nobody else did it then? You know? If the division was weak, then one of those guys should have took initiative and said, hey, look, I'm going to go for undisputed then. These guys are weak. I could take them all on. Never happened. It never happened in the history of that division. Now, I'm not saying guys like James Toney or Roy Jones were afraid to, or Calzaghe. I'm not saying any of those guys were afraid to do it. It just never happened. It never happened. So either way, if Canelo would have lost Saturday, I'd be right here saying the same thing about Caleb Plant. Because I give credit when it's due. Even when I'm wrong in my prediction. Like I said earlier about the Jose Ramirez fight, where I was, it was an emotional pick for me. I was picking with my heart because I wanted him to win because of what he does for his people here in California. And plus, I think he's a really good fighter. He's the only guy that I could tell you right now that I'm a fan of. Nobody else. And he lost fair and square to Josh Taylor. And I came on here immediately after the fight, said that I was a little bit hurt because he lost. But then I came back the very next day and made a video about Josh Taylor giving him full 100% credit for the win. That's how we should be doing it here, man. Not making excuses. Not making excuses. That's what the other guys do on the other side. Their guy takes a loss, they make excuses for him. Here, I don't do that. My guy lost to Josh Taylor fair and square, and he gets 100% credit. And now that Canelo has done something that has never been done at 168 pounds, he gets full credit for it. And I don't understand why anybody else wouldn't give him full credit for it. I just don't. But, we can't change everybody's mind. Everybody's going to have a different opinion. And that's why I put it in the title of this video, my opinion on Canelo after 10 years, because I've been through a roller coaster with Canelo over the past 10 years here. Like I said, early in his career, because I felt like he was he hadn't stepped up yet, and people were already crowning him. Like I said, I'm not gonna do that. I got labeled a hater because I felt like he got a couple gift decisions. I got labeled a hater. Nobody's above criticism, man. Nobody. Whether you love the guy or not, nobody's above criticism. And that's just the way it is. For me, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just again telling you my opinion on him now. And I also want to give guys who have been around for the last couple of years since we've been building the HCP, um, who've been saying, the things that they've been saying about Canelo. Hey, you guys are right. You guys are right. And I have no problem saying that. No problem at all. I mean, I was put on the hot seat by Chicano Prophet, who's a big Canelo fan. And I had no problem doing that. I got no problem sitting down and talking with anybody. As long as you can talk to me like a man. You're gonna come on here on some fuck shit and just yell and curse and all that type of shit. Like, no, I don't want to talk to you. We're gonna talk like men over here. I believe in order. That's what I believe in. All that yelling and screaming and cussing, that's emotional shit. That's emotional to me. That's not what I do. And he put me on the hot seat because he felt like I was a Canelo hater. He asked me I said, you ask me any question you want. And he did. That's the type of dude that G Funk is. And I hope that you guys as my subscribers can appreciate that. And Canelo's the best in the world now. It's to me, it can't be argued at this point. Just can't. So yeah, that's really what I wanted to say here, man. All my receipts are there. And it's sad to me that um you can't have an opinion without being called a hater, you know? Like I went over to other channels and defended Canelo about the whole drug accusation stuff. And then I got called a Canelo lover by people in the chat. It's like, okay, fine, whatever, you know? And the person whose channel it was like, nah, he's not a hater. I mean, he's not a Canelo lover. Like he's criticized Canelo for something. Yeah, again, everybody gets criticism, man. But I just don't understand how you can criticize the guy now. You just can't. You just can't do it. I feel like there's no way around it. Like you got to give him credit. Guys want to give that sideways credit. Like, I mean, yeah, he's undisputed, but there's no buts anymore, man. There's no more buts. Anytime I hear a but, like that means come on now. Now you don't want to give him full 100% credit when I hear but. There's nothing to but about at this point. The man is undisputed. He's the only champion to do it at 168, man. That says a lot. So, anyways, yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say right now. And again, we'll be live tonight talking about obviously the fight card. And I got to call some people out real quickly here. Now, Maestro just did a live talking about Teofimo and his belts and being at Canelo's press conference after the fight. And again, I respect everyone's opinion. I just disagree with him. And this is not about the undisputed thing. This is about people feeling a certain type of way about him being there in general with his belts. I think if Canelo had an issue with it, he wouldn't have any problem telling them that. I mean, look, when he beat Billy Joe and Demetrius Andrade went up there and started talking to him, he had no problem telling him to get the fuck out because he didn't like it. So I don't see why he wouldn't say that to Teofimo. If he didn't like him being there, to be like, man, get the fuck out of here with your belts, bro. Like, what the fuck are you doing? He seemed okay with it. He was taking pictures with them. So I mean, my thing is this: if the man himself didn't have a problem with it, I don't feel like anybody else should. I just feel it's people still holding a grudge against Teofimo at the end of the day. That's what I think it is. They're still mad that he beat Lomachenko. And I'm going to go over to Maestro's 15 minutes before I go live tonight, and we'll talk about it. And there's one more person I got to address before I go. And I tell you guys this all the time. I want you guys to subscribe to the Shoe Shine Boxing. My homeboy Dave from the 408 is the host over there. He's got a co-host named Philly Irish Drew Evo, who's a big-time Teofimo hater and a big-time Loma fanboy. And we had an issue a few months ago. And I'm a man, and I stepped up to the plate, and I went over to his platform, his show, called into his show, and we talked about it, and we squashed it, supposedly. But today in Maestro's chat, the guy wants to take subliminal shots at me. And then he goes and runs to Twitter after and takes more subliminal shots at me. So you know what I do? I call him out on Twitter. I tagged him. I said, look, come on my show tonight before you and Dave go live. They usually go live right around the time I'm ending my show. So he can come on a little bit. Dave can come on too. And out of respect for our mutual friend, Dave, I said, yeah, we could talk about it and end it right here. No sweat. But you still want to take subliminal shots at me, bro. Be a man and just say be a man and say my name. I'm saying your name. I tagged you on Twitter. And now you don't want to come on. You said it's not a shot, it's facts. And I call it how I see it. And I'm too busy for the Shoe Shine, which comes on at 10:30. You scared. You scared to come on the platform and talk about it. I'm calling your ass out. You still bitter that Teofimo beat Loma. You bitter as hell, bro. And you can't hide it. Anytime there's an opportunity to take a shot at Teofimo, you're right there. So I'm calling you out. And if you don't come on, don't call my motherfucking name anymore. Don't take subliminal shots at me, bro. Straight up. I'm calling you out man to man. I went on your platform last time. You come on mine. Don't make no excuses about how you're preparing for the show. Your homeboy Dave is in my chat all the time before the show. So I'm going to tell you like this, Drew Evo, if you don't come on tonight, I'm done with you. Don't mention my fucking name. Don't take subliminal shots. None of that shit. Because I don't play these games. The shit was supposed to be squashed, but then you still want to talk shit. That ain't cool. Like I said, I squashed it with you on your show out of respect for our homeboy Dave. But you still want to throw shots. So I'm giving you one last opportunity to come on and squash it. If not, then it is what it is. Don't show up to my shit and don't talk shit without tagging me or whatever. Like, I don't want none of that. So that's really all I got to say right now. We'll see if he decides to come on. But it's time for me to roll. Like I said, I didn't have a whole lot of time here. I'll see you guys tonight, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. I'll be on Maestro's for the last 10 minutes or so of his show to talk about what he had to say today. And that's that, man. Appreciate everybody being here. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit the like button, hit that notification bell. And I'm out. See you guys tonight.
Shout out to Hispanics causing panics.
Shout out to Hispanics causing panics.
Hispanics causing panic. I'm glad to be here.
Hispanics are causing panic, baby. Let's do it.